Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a great day. To start things off, Bitcoin gained more than 9.4% since its halving just 2 days ago. The rising number of investors, combining both retail as well as institutional participation, is pushing Bitcoin to the US dollar even higher. US equity markets took a deep plunge on Wednesday. The benchmark Dow Jones Industrial Average fell by around 2.17%. The S&P 500 dropped by 1.75%. On the flip side, Bitcoin to the US dollar surpassed $9,400, rising almost 6% in the same duration. US Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell warned of a slow and delayed economic revival if there is no help for 19. Donald Trump said that the influential players in the stock market are betting against the market. He said the main reasons as to why the US dollar to Bitcoin is rising is because of multiple factors. The overall demand for goods and services is falling. Wholesale prices are falling to record lows. Bitcoin is being perceived as a hedge against future price shocks. Investors are ditching investments in stocks and running to Bitcoin. I think that's kind of 50-50, right? We don't have proper metrics for that. But I think the news that we've been having the last couple of weeks from a lot of heavy-handed investors who have come forward either talking about their support for Bitcoin, Bitcoin's not that bad, or talking about getting into Bitcoin futures, I think may have also caused a movement upward. And so far, Bitcoin has not upset investors. Though a section of analysts claim that Bitcoin is hugely overpriced at the moment, they're lying to themselves. Bitcoin rose by 9.4% since the halving on the 12th of May. People have been saying that Bitcoin is overpriced since around 2011. Once again, this is why I love the internet, because all the information is there. You can look around, you can find this information for yourself as well. They've been saying it since Bitcoin was $10, since Bitcoin was $28, since Bitcoin was $128, and it's always the same exact people as well. These people, and it's not that they're jealous. I think they just have nothing better to do with their time than talk about something that they just simply should not simply be caring about in the first place. The point is, Bitcoin is not overpriced. That's like saying, well, then PayPal is overpriced if Bitcoin did 4 times the amount of money flow through it. What we have now, and this also ties directly into it, the next story, it's a bit of optimism, it's a bit of confusion, dare I say as well, as to why Bitcoin is going up or could be going up, when we had this idea a couple of weeks ago that Bitcoin was correlated to traditional asset classes, which it has never really been. Even over the last 11 years, we've never seen a direct correlation between it. We've seen like an opposite correlation. If something is happening negatively within traditional markets, Bitcoin typically, historically, has done very well and has gone up in price. So therefore, I think even the last couple of plunges and drops that we had, the last 3 or 4 that we had over the last month or two, were all done by whales. None of it was actually done by normal people around the world who were trying to push the price of Bitcoin down because they thought the stock market was going down as well. This one says Bitcoin surged by almost 600 points. No, it's dollars. Wednesday, after Federal Reserve Chairman Powell said additional fiscal stimulus is worth it to protect the economy. The price of Bitcoin rose on Wednesday after Federal Reserve Chairman Powell's defeatist remarks on the U.S. economy supported the perceived hedging asset. Here's a little chart right here. How beautiful it is. What we have is that people have been calling for additional stimulus packages to help everything that's been going on. I don't typically watch the news because I think there's, in my opinion, there's normally just far too much negativity on it. That's how I perceive it. And also the things that have been happening the last 3 months have been just a bit too much. But I do still try to keep up with economic news as much as I possibly can. And the situation is right now is that the $1,200 stimulus check is not enough for many people. Kind of all over the place. People can't pay their rent. People can't feed their kids. People can't do a whole bunch of things. So I believe it is the Democrats. They have revealed plans for additional checks, not just a check across the board. The idea is to kind of support people until this is all over. Not sure if that's going to pass. However, the idea for additional stimulus checks seems to be favored quite well across the board. Apparently there are going to be more coming out. No one knows when. It hasn't been decided on. However, this is kind of the idea. And also, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure it was yesterday, people were asking the Fed if they planned on lowering interest rates. I believe Donald Trump said he wants to lower interest rates. The Fed said that they, at the moment, are not going to be doing so. However, they have not ruled out the option. So if realistically, if this continues for another 2.5, 3 months, if not a little bit more, we are probably going to get some type of indication from them that they are going to be thinking about lowering interest rates, and that could also propel Bitcoin a lot higher for what it's worth. So that's the price news. Yeah, it's price news. That was all pretty pricey news, if you will. The global economy is not looking too good. There are very few people who are very optimistic of a what they call a V-shaped recovery. Other people who have been in the game for quite a long amount of time have been saying this doesn't look good, and things are probably going to get worse before they get better as far as prices and just about everything else. Anyway, that's that news. Bitcoin is currently up in price. Stock markets are down. And let's move on. Next up, all 80,000 users of the German Neobank Bitwala can now purchase, hold, and earn interest on Bitcoin in their bank accounts thanks to a new partnership with cryptocurrency lending platform Celsius Network. According to DeFiPrime.com, Bitwala is the first classic fiat bank to offer interest for holding Bitcoin in your account, with 3 other DeFi dApps offering similar products. While the DeFi products have higher rates, up to 8.6% per year, Bitwala is more regulated and offers fiat and cryptocurrency services in 32 European countries under licenses from leading German bank Solaris Bank AG. Users can buy as little as 30 euros worth of Bitcoin and hold it for free. Hold it in the free Bitcoin interest account and receive interest payments weekly. Bitcoin in the accounts is lent out through the Celsius network to trusted partners. Funds can be converted back to euros immediately. This was kind of all over the place. I decided to only have one tab because it was a bit daunting. This is apparently the first bank fiat bank that allows or is having this kind of happening. I assume this is going to happen more and more, especially as we've seen the interest from banks actually holding and custodying Bitcoin. Keep in mind that this is all happening, that banks are now willing to do this, and especially the rise in interest rates that comes along with this. If you have money in a bank, if you have money in a savings account, if you have money in a whatever account, I don't care what it is, your interest rates are probably not that great. I think it says where is it? It was somewhere around here, unless I'm missing it. Maybe it was in another article. I think the interest rate that they're offering, here we go, 4.3% for holding Bitcoin in your account. First of all, 4.3% is an okay number. I think a lot of times when people hear about interest, they usually want these 8.6 or 12 point somethings. These things are not sustainable, and a lot of these companies who are offering these rates will eventually at some point not be able to pay you back, because even Bitcoin is very finite. It is going to be impossible for a company to continuously make and give you back 12% on your money every single year over the next 10 years. So realistically, just telling you, 4.3% interest, while not the biggest number in the world, is still totally fine. And this is even better in comparison to the actual interest rate that you get when you have cash in your actual bank account, which is normally 0.1%, 0.25%, and these numbers are probably not going to increase as the world's economy continues to can I use the word nosedive? The point is, if we end up getting to a situation where Bitcoin's price not only rises higher and people realize that they can get 4.3% back on having Bitcoin in their account as opposed to having US dollars or euros or yens, whatever, in their account, and they end up getting a tenth of 1%, you're going to choose Bitcoin, which then also causes more people to end up trying to buy more Bitcoin to be able to get these interest rates as well. It's all very fascinating. The numbers all make sense. I assume a lot more of this is going to take place in the future. However, Bitwala, as it is called, is the first one to do this, at least in Germany, and expect more of this news. Like I said, only had one tab open because it was just a lot. Let's move on. Also in wow, this was everywhere news, Reddit has expanded its community points trial offering users a way to earn a piece of their favorite communities, built on top of the Ethereum blockchain. In a slide presentation published Wednesday evening, Reddit revealed its plans to utilize the Ethereum network to incentivize the creation of quality posts and comments. The points can be spent on premium features and used as a measure of reputation in the community, the social media platform said. The news that we had about 3 weeks ago was that Reddit was allegedly planning on using Ethereum. I think someone had gone through the code. I don't remember exactly what the specifics were, but their rumor was that Reddit planned on using Ethereum, and lo and behold, it was actually true. Users are rewarded based on their contribution to their favorite channels, with the community ultimately deciding how many points each user receives. Users can hoard their points or spend them on unique features such as badges, custom emojis, and GIFs in comments. Wow, that's wonderful. They said, we continuously run experiments to explore features that engage our users and communities with community points. We're working exclusively with 2 communities to test this feature and gather feedback from our users. So the news is Reddit is officially using Ethereum. I guess the rumor was before that they planned on using Ether as a means of so the rumor was that they were either creating their own coin and not Red coin, like an actual official coin, or that they were going to be using Ether to actually incentivize people and or airdrop on people as they were liking posts and stuff like that. But apparently they've decided on community points instead, but the news being that they're still deciding to use Ethereum. I assume in the next couple of weeks and or months, we're going to start getting news of how many, not transactions, yeah, you can say transactions have been taking place on the community, on the Ethereum blockchain, based on the amount of posts happening on Reddit and people who are actually gaining community points. It'll be fascinating to see that, and also fascinating to see if this, I don't want to say clogs up the Ethereum network, but if you have if you have millions per week, maybe that might cause some slowdown. Yeah, anyway, yeah, it rolled out Ethereum-based crypto, or points, if you will, to over 20 million users. This was to be expected because I keep telling you major enterprises and very popular websites in countries and governments are all using Ethereum. So, yeah. Let's move on. Next up, Ripple says it's bringing a new product to market that's centered on working capital lending. In a new job listing, the San Francisco startup says it is looking for a director of product management to spearhead the platform. They said this person will bring a new loan product to market from concept to launch from RippleNet customers. This person will bring strong leadership skills, as they will need to collaborate heavily with cross-functional internal teams and the financial ecosystem of partners and customers. While many crypto companies have launched platforms that allow users to attain loans using digital assets as collateral, the job listing doesn't mention whether XRP will be part of its new offering. Ripple says the new hire will be responsible for determining how the company can serve new and prospective RippleNet customers with working capital loans. The project manager will create the relevant structures to properly execute on a functional loan offering, develop customer empathy around problems related to working capital needs and cross-border payments. Here's the actual job listing right here. While it does not explicitly say XRP, I think it would be nonsensical of them not to use XRP. Every other platform at this stage and time has some type of collateral lending, interest rate bearing loan something platform on their system. There's one for Bitcoin. The same exact thing with the German bank we were just reading about. That's also being lent out through a loan program for people to be able to receive their interest. There are multiple on Ethereum. We have it for just about every single stable coin, and every other coin is also trying to get into this space as well. If Ripple does not use XRP for this new loan platform, I assume they've dropped the ball or just simply have no idea what's going on. Of course, a lot of this is, the job listing is actually here. But there's always a huge amount of speculation as to if Ripple is planning on using XRP. For those of you who have never met the people or heard from the people or seen anything from the people from Ripple, They have said multiple times that XRP is one of their hugest priorities, the usage of XRP, and this is why many other companies and platforms and companies have been created with the explicit job of using XRP. So one can only assume that at some point they were going to launch a loan platform or some type of I assume at some point as well they're going to also, I mean, I'm pretty sure there are plans to have like DeFi things on top of the XRP ledger as well. But I'm assuming at some point there's going to be someone who's going to start offering interest on XRP accounts as well. It's definitely just going to be a thing at some point. Yeah, that's the XRP news. I find it very interesting that the question always comes up is XRP involved? Is XRP going to be used? If it's from the Ripple company, they also have a huge incentive to actually use the XRP as well, to get the numbers on not only the ledger up, but also to lock up additional XRP through other platforms, because this is how the coin's prices rise. This is why we were talking about Ether's price is going to rise even further when it's locked up in the actual system. If you have loan platforms, Bitcoin essentially also has to be locked up in these things as well. Like, it's logical. Anyway, yeah, I assume this was going to happen and is going to happen at some point, and I assume XRP will also be utilized. Let's move on. And to finish things off, the encrypted messaging giant Telegram has conceded defeat as the US SEC has forced the company to abandon its blockchain project. Telegram has abandoned its cryptocurrency project, with its founder, Pavel Durov, blaming the US court for seeking to crush any attempt at decentralization to maintain its global financial dominance. Not incorrect. The US Securities and Exchange Commission, or the SEC, has forced Telegram to end its TON project after several court hearings. Telegram founder Pavel Durov announced on his Telegram channel on Tuesday, stating the blockchain project, the Telegram Open Network, or TON, and its currency known as grams, would have to shut down. The US SEC sued Telegram for conducting illegal security offerings in October 2019. For those of you who don't know, there were a couple. I think it was Telegram and... why can't I remember this? Telegram... It'll come to me. Kick was the other one, who had plans on launching mobile decentralized versions of currency money on their actual mobile app platforms, where people would be able to send money back and forth. If I like your comment, I can give you a penny. If I like so-and-so, if you want to send your friend some money, you can send it on the TON network. These things had been known for about a good year and some change. However, the Securities and Exchange Commission decided to shut down or attempt to shut down both projects like a day before they were going to launch, which in my eyes is not even kind of shady. It's completely shady, because they knew they could have told these people from the get-go that they were doing something wrong. However, they waited until the very last moment. Telegram founder Pavel Durov wrote in a blog post that, unfortunately, a U.S. court halted TON from happening. Pavel Durov explained that, imagine that several people put their funds together to build a gold mine and to later split that gold that comes out of the mine. Then a judge comes and tells mine builders that too many people have invested in this gold mine because they were looking for profits. Telegram founder further is not important. The point is, yeah, so TON is apparently done. I assume Kick and Kin are also kind of done as well. Every single thing that has come out through the form of an ICO in some sort of way has been shut down by the SEC. And I want to say this was almost unimaginable in 2008, 2009, simply because, I mean, just realistically, like I said, we all assume that, especially the people from a lot of these projects as well, if you're doing something illegal during 2008 to the beginning of 2019, you would assume that the government would just outright tell you so. But nope, they decided to do so the day before all of these projects were launching. Never forget as well, when the first physical Bitcoin futures were going to happen, the company had been given the go-ahead, the thumbs up to actually do so. And the company waited an extra day just to make sure that they had actually gone over the actual limit. And the day that they decided to launch their physical Bitcoin futures, they were also shut down and told that they couldn't do it. And that also led the way for the people from Backed to launch their physical Bitcoin futures. While the cryptocurrency markets may also be manipulated, like I said, like all markets are manipulated, the way that regulators have constantly tried to shut down things within the cryptocurrency space is just completely, the nice word is terrible. So as it stands right now, yeah, this was also part of news that was everywhere news. I think the SEC was suing them for like hundreds of millions of dollars, the same exact thing from Kick. Like at a certain point, you just can't pay anymore. Like, you know, you may have money set aside, but no one has millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions to continue fighting these lawsuits over the courses of years. All this does, and I mean, you have to have, I think things like this happening within the cryptocurrency space just help to give rise to decentralized projects that are, in essence, not 1000% for profit, i.e. they launch with the best intentions, and if people use them, people use them. If not, then they don't simply get used. But nearly all the companies who've raised billions of dollars, if not hundreds of millions, you know, money, have been shut down by the SEC and the CFTC. So it's just how things go, but it's still, in many ways, not right. As always, a very special thank you to my Patreon supporters: Professor Wally from Gunbot University, Utopia569, Yasha Harari, Moonman High, XRP, The Pothead, Joshua Vineyard, Martin Stoyer, Tsongololo, Nostromo, John Sarson, The Animal Reader, A Bibliophobia, Bare Bones Mining, Todd Mullis, Adam Graysick, Mohammed Maroni, Master Ventures in Thailand, Jared Schneider, Wise Night Owl, 242 to the World, Crypto Joe, Bankroll Network, Adobo, Crypto Artist, Cold D3D, Nicholas Red Earth, One Piece, One Love, Damien, Setsuna, Nick Kanaya, Richie Rich III, Vlad the Impaler, Paxis, Nick Mangialavori, Anthony Charles, Jim Gardner, Jeremy Fox, Minting Coins, Miller Hitch Test Every Day, and Kyle Skips Leg Day, Yes to Crypto, Bodie McBoatface, Anytime Fitness, Monk's Corner Staff, Arf Medic 17, Bake Me a Cake, Tigger Machonisa, On Crypto with Lionel, Crayola Michelle, URL, and Hold On, I Have to Sneeze. Thank you all very, very much for your support. Thank you to everyone who is a supporter of the channel and many other things. I have all these lists in my head, and they kind of go poof as I get towards the end of the video. And also thank you to everyone who is a new subscriber in the other channel. It is very much appreciated. At the moment, the market is up. Bitcoin is currently up. It is up by 7.6%. It is sitting at $9,479. Even higher than when I first started. So it looks like we're trying to make a push for 10,000. I would say don't hold your breath, simply because don't get your hopes up. Not more so that it's not going to happen. It's more of a make sure to take a breather. There's no real reason why we should not be above 10,000, especially after the halving and everything else that has been taking place and all the new institutional interest within the cryptocurrency market. However, we know that the cryptocurrency market can be ridiculous from time to time, so just keep that in mind. But yeah, a lot of the altcoins are down. A lot of them don't really have a reason to be up, if you want a real honest opinion. All eyes are still focused on Bitcoin. We've been receiving a lot of news that people have been expecting some type of movement still from Bitcoin after the halving has taken place, and I guess this is part of the movement that they've been expecting. But we'll see exactly how this ends up going as the day moves along. I do hope you all enjoyed. I do hope you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope that it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching and or listening, and I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.